Hello everyone, welcome to Marlin Chess Kids. Today I show the gameplay by Tao and Ori, and this beautiful game complete in only 20 moves. And let's see how the game play. The game starts with the pawn to d4, d5, c4, and here you have the queen gambits. And after this, e6 was played, and here the knight to c3, and this after 3 moves, the position is equal. Then the black continued to play a c5, trying to gain control of center and attack the pawn. And here, the white just play e3, and to allow the bishop to be active in the pawn. After this, the black play knight to f6. And here the knight to f3, and you can see that the white trying to develop the knight and later develop the bishop to go for a short castling. After this, a6 was played, and you have the idea to prepare to push the pawn to b5. So this is the first 5 move, and you can see that the white is slightly better in the position. And the game continue with the white c takes the pawn, and the pawn c takes the d5 pawn, and after this the e takes the pawn. Then the bishop continue to develop to e2, and here the white preparing to go for a short castling. After this, knight to c6, and now the white go for a short castling. Then the black continue to develop the bishop d6, and preparing to go for a short castling, and this to get the king to the corner and away from the center of the board. So after this, the pawn just capture the d5 pawn, c5 pawn, and the bishop just recapture it back. Bishop takes c5. Then the white just play b3, preparing to go for a bishop and have the diagonal to attack the pawn at g7. So after this, the king just go for a short castling to get the king to the corner and save. And here, this is the first 10 move, and the white has an edge. After this, bishop to b2 was played, and now the bishop, this bishop trying to hide at the bishop a7, and this bishop is strong to maintain the diagonal and indirect attack the king. So after this, rook c1 was played, and now the black developed rook to e8. After this, the knight to a4, and here preparing to allow the rook to control the c file. Then the knight to e4, keep on pushing the knight to the center. After this, the knight to d4. Then here the white play a queen to g5, and here we have the very strong idea to checkmate the king with the queen capture g7, and you can just push the bishop to protect it, or you also can use the rook to come out and continue to attack the g file. So after this move, and let's say if you play a bishop to d3, and this will be a mistake because the bishop can come to h3 and attack the pawn, and it will be a checkmate. And if you make an example move such as capture the knight, then the pawn will just capture, and here will be a checkmate. If you any move such as a3, this will be a very simple checkmate. Queen takes g2. So if you push the pawn to g3, then the bishop will just win the rook, and after the queen capture, then the knight will just go for the exchange. After a few series of action, the black will win in the exchange. So back to this position, if you use the knight to capture the knight, this will remain the equal because after the pawn capture, then the rook can play rook to c2, and if you continue to play bishop to h3, then the bishop just go to f3 to defend it. So in the actual game, after this move, the knight to f3, and then at this move, the black made a very beautiful sacrifice. The sacrifice is by playing knight takes f2, and this is a very strong position with position sacrifice. And now if you capture the queen, for example, then the knight will just capture the queen, and after rook c takes the queen, then the bishop will just capture the pawn and check the king and win back the knight. So this position sacrifice will win 2 pawns in the exchange and will give black the better position. So if you block with the rook, then the queen will just capture, and you can see after this position, the black is winning with 2 pawns. And back to this position, if you use the rook to capture the knight, then the queen will continue capture the pawn and pinning it the rook. So now the queen need to protect the rook. If the queen do not the black do not protect, if you move any move such as a pawn, the queen will just capture the rook and will be definitely winning in the game. So if you use a queen to play such as queen to e1, then the queen will just capture the bishop, and after queen capture, the rook will capture, and here the bishop is pinning the rook, and the rook cannot capture the rook. So this is one of the very beautiful position sacrifice with the knight. So back to this position, in the actual game, the king captured the knight, and this is one of the tactical blunder, and with this the black is winning and having a decisive advantage. And the game continue with you can use either the bishop to take the pawn, or you can use the queen to take the pawn. You check and able to get back the rook. So in the actual game, bishop takes e3, and after this king to e1 was played, and now after this the black continue to attack with a queen capture the pawn. Then rook c, with the idea such as you push an example move like a3, then if you capture the rook, and if queen capture, you have a very simple queen takes e2 and checkmate, and this is protected by the rook. So in the actual game, rook c3 was played trying to attack the bishop, and after this bishop to the black develop another bishop to g4 and continue attack the knight. So after this move, the white just capture the bishop and the rook capture, and this is a 19 move. After this, the white continue to play bishop c1 to attack the rook, and this is also another tactical blunder which causes the black to win the game. And after this move, now we have a very interesting move and another brilliant move from the black, and will win the game. Can you find the beautiful move by the black and win the game? Well, congratulations for those who found the answer, and for those who like to enjoy the show, here are the beautiful move and the brilliant sacrifice from the black. And this is another position sacrifice which is very interesting by using the rook to capture the knight. So after I capture the knight, the white resign the game. And if you want to continue the game, you can just use such as a rook capture. Rook takes the f3 rook, and the bishop will continue to attack. And if you use the bishop to capture, then you can bring the rook to e8 and check the king. And the queen is control square. So with this, have to block with the bishop. And if you block with the bishop, then now you bring another knight to sacrifice and attack the bishop. So if you capture with the queen, then you have queen takes the bishop and checkmate. And now if you just move away, then the rook can just capture and check the king, and you will be clearly winning in the game. So back to this position. If you capture with the rook, then you will have a mate in 4, such as you bring the rook again to e8 and check the king. And again, now the king has no place to move because it is being controlled everything by the black. So if you block with the bishop, such as bishop to e2, then the rook will just go for capture the bishop. And after queen capture, then you can queen capture and will be a checkmate. So if you just block with the bishop, this will just delay the checkmate only. So the bishop capture will be a bad move for the white. And if you try to escape, such as move king to d2, then now again you can just play rook to e3, because the queen is pinning it and the bishop cannot capture, and now the rook can able to attack and bring another rook into the action. So after this, you just protect with the rook, and you can continue to play a bishop f5. And here after that, you can just come to here and check the king and win the queen. So if you move to c2, then you can just use the queen to capture. So nothing much that the white can play to prevent the queen being captured in this situation. If you move a knight to b2, then the queen will just continue to play such as queen to g5. And here this is a pinning attack again. So moving the rook to d3 and open check, and we have a double check, then you can able to capture the queen. And if you move something such as a3, then you can have a very beautiful rook to capture the pawn, and it will be the open check. And the king is trapped in the middle of the game. And with this, you can show that this brilliant capture with the rook is a very beautiful sacrifice. And with this, thank you.